You can get online with the All-Star Game at www.nbc.com/sports. Who will be there? Why, Gary Carter answering your questions, providing some commentary from this point through the 7th inning. And after the game, live audio feeds including all the post-game press conferences. Mike Piazza at 363, a rather comfortable lead in the National League batting race. The Rockies' Eric Young is second at 345. Very rare for someone who is a catcher to have a batting average anything like this. The highest full season batting average for a full-time catcher is 357 by the Hall of Famer Mickey Cochran for the 1930 A's. At the halfway point, Piazza is ahead of that. 1-1.
After his first few years in the major leagues, he has done more than any other catcher in the history of the game, and that includes the great players like Johnny Bench, Yogi Berra, all the great players. He has outdistanced them, all of them, his first couple of years in the game.
Had a home run in last year's All-Star contest off Kenny Rogers.
How many guys are fortunate enough to have Ted Williams come to your house when you're 12 years old?
Goodbye. Absolutely crushed. Well, Ted, if you're watching, whatever you told 12-year-old Mike Piazza, he listened very carefully.
Bobby has a very unusual swing in that he straightens up on his front leg much like a golfer. And he golfed this ball right out of here. This looked like a golf ball when he hit it.
I think the echo is still reverberating around the vet. Here's Bichette.
Now watch his front leg. I mean, he straightens right up after he swings. Now just watch his front leg. This is very unusual. Right there, just powerful.
And the instant he connected, you knew that one was not coming back.
Again, just watch his front leg. This is where he generates all the torque right there. Just a beautiful swing.
And it's 2-0 National League. Bichette rolls one slowly to Alomar, who throws him out. It's worth another look.
I'll tell you, you're right, Joe. You know, in one way, it almost looks like he's blocking himself when he does that. But boy, I'm telling you, that's Charles Nagy.
We said I didn't throw a cheap one anyway.
I'll tell you what, that would have won some of the home runs that were hit yesterday. That may have won something here. That was a tremendous shot.
Barry Bonds won the home run hitting contest yesterday in a Bay Area bash off with Mark McGwire of the A's. Chipper Jones, Alomar to his right, can't get it. And a one-out single.
How about that ball McGwire hit yesterday, Bob, in that home run hitting contest? Tremendous blast by Mark McGwire to the upper deck here in left.
Calculated at 460 feet. Biggio to the plate, hitting an even 300. And a called strike.
And again, Bob, Chipper Jones proves he's not awed by the big stage. In last year's World Series, he had some great hits. Now in his first All-Star game, first at bat, he just singles to center field.
Nagy's 0-1 pitch to Biggio. Squib foul. As Bobby Cox said, he'd let John Smoltz pitch only 2 innings. The 9th spot is next, and Henry Rodriguez of the Expos is in the on-deck circle. And the count holds 0-2. You know, you look at Biggio. Here's a guy who started his career as a catcher. He's been a second baseman for several years. They preserved his speed by getting him out from behind the plate. Now, Piazza's a much different kind of player, but what you can hit as Piazza can, a lot of people wonder, will he play his whole career as a catcher?
You know, when you talk to Piazza about it, about that very subject, he said, I love catching. I want to catch. But you're right, down the road. And again, in talking about a league leading hitter, you know this guy can't run. So what he hits, he gets, he earns. But it's not a bad move. I mean, it's happened before where a guy ends up at first. Johnny Bench played third for you guys, Joe, at Cincinnati for a while, played at first, and took a lot of heat off of him.
Another 0-2 pitch. And another foul ball. Chuck Finley is up and throwing. He'll follow Nagy to the mound. The Angel left-hander. But you know, speaking of Johnny Bench, one of the greatest players of all time, but done by the time he was 34, 35 years old. And his quote was, a catcher's body is like an outlaw on his horse. He's got to ride that nag till it drops. But it dropped early for Johnny, as it can when you put on that equipment day in, day out. It's going to take a toll.
Well, I think too with Bench and in playing in Cincinnati and even here in Philadelphia, I mean, on this artificial surface, not only so much behind the plate, but running up and down. You're chasing runners. Every time a ground ball is hit, you're running to first behind the runner. You're always active. I think this stuff gets to you sooner or later.
Here's a bouncing ball toward Boggs. He looks at second, but his better choice is first, and he guns him out to Vaughn.
You know, I don't know if too many catchers, Joe, after years and years of squatting, your legs just tighten up. I mean, the upper portion of your legs tighten, the calves tighten. And I mean, you're a one-dimensional player for the most part. You're back there to catch and throw, and that's about it. But when you look at a guy like Ivan Rodriguez, who, as I said before, is an unbelievably fine catcher and a great thrower. He's got a great arm. I mean, whether this guy hits or not, you want him behind the plate.
So Rodriguez, a late addition after Tony Gwynn was scratched. 279 with 25 home runs. This is really his first season as a regular at age 28. He'd never hit more than 8 home runs in a season for the Dodgers or Expos prior to this. Tremendously popular in Montreal. They shower the field with those O. Henry bars when he connects. Vaughn dives and can't get it. Chipper Jones being waved home by Jimmy Williams. There's the third National League run on a pinch hit RBI single from Henry Rodriguez.
Well, Rodriguez credits his great season to weightlifting, and he just ripped this ball by Mo Vaughn. Vaughn breaks a little late, but no chance to get it. As you can see, that ball is well past him when he dives. So good hitting there by Rodriguez to drive in the run.
Two-out RBI hit. The inning began with a tremendous homer off Piazza's bat. Lance Johnson takes a ball. Unusual leadoff man. He has the speed that you hope for and plenty of it. The stolen bases, the triples, the high batting average at .322. He has only 15 walks, though. He's not up there to look.
It's a surprise to me, Bob, whenever you say he takes ball one. I mean, Lance Johnson walks up there to hit. He hit the first pitch of the game that he saw tonight, and he leads the league in triples. He does everything with the bat. He does not walk.
But somehow Nagy falls behind him 3-0.
You know, there was another guy that was such a great leadoff hitter too, Joe, and Paul Molitor in his younger days. I mean, if you got a guy like that in the top spot, he's got a chance to give you an instant 1-0 lead too, because he had some power. If you throw him a fastball to start him off, he'd jump on it.
Now he looks at Jimmy Williams. He was taking all the way on 3-0. He obviously has the hit sign here. Barry Larkin is on deck. And the count runs out full.
Can't believe that either.
Pitcher's spot due first in the top of the third. They'll hit for Nagy, so this is his last inning. There goes the runner on the 3-2 pitch with 2 out, and he'll have to come back. So this was a reprise of Game 3 of the World Series when Nagy and Smoltz opposed each other. Mike Hargrove's Indians won that one in extra innings. maybe the most exciting game of the series as they got back into it after losing the first two. Neither Nagy nor Smoltz involved in the decision that night. Alomar, a busy night so far. Flip to Vaughn. Johnson's gone, but two more for the National League. After two, 3-0. Three hits. Gotcha. Yep. Gotcha. Boy, did he hit the shit out of that ball. Okay. What? What? Yeah, whatever you want to do. So you're going to do this first. Who's the pinch hitter? Edgar Martinez. You know what? Don't do this now. Give me Edgar Martinez. He's in the on deck circle. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sure. Give me Edgar Martinez. Give me Edgar Martinez. You got to look in the on deck circle in these situations. New pitcher for the National League, Kevin Brown of the Marlins, formerly with Texas and most recently with the Orioles. Pitched a scoreless inning and won the 1992 game for the American League in San Diego. It's a crime to pitch this well, to strike out 79 and walk only 16, to have an ERA under 2 and get only 7 runs in the 7 losses and be just a .500 pitcher.
It is unbelievable. I mean, he has pitched so well this season, but the Marlins have trouble scoring whenever he's on the mound. They have trouble scoring quite often, but especially when he pitches. Good sinker, slider, but he has an overpowering sinker. It's a heavy sinker, but he has a good slider to go along with it and an occasional changeup.
Edgar Martinez, two-time American League batting champion, probably his only at-bat since he's really a DH. He'll hit for Nagy to start the third. Is he baseball's most underappreciated hitter? So many hitters putting up phenomenal numbers, but what this guy is doing deserves mention. He's on pace to break the all-time single-season record for doubles. Not just break it, but demolish it. At his present pace, with 42 at the break, he'd hit 80. The record is 67. And get this, with the extra base hits, he's got a chance to break Babe Ruth's mark for most extra base hits in a season, which is 119 dating back to the 20s.
He is a phenomenal hitter, and what he does best, Bob, is he waits on the pitch and he will drive it to right field. You pitch him inside, he will pull the ball. He finds the gaps. That's why he hits a lot of doubles.
Two balls and a strike.
I'm going to say, Bob, the one thing about a guy like Edgar is the fact that he's strictly a DH, and I think that's why he doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, a guy that plays every day, plays defense, and hits too, gets a lot more of the credit. This guy sits there and takes his 4 whacks a night and should hit well. I mean, that's what people figured.
Larkin at shortstop. Throws him out, and we go back to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob Costas. I'm now joined by Frank Thomas, 85 RBIs on the year. However, Frank was a late scratch tonight. He hurt his right foot. Give us the prognosis. Will you be able to play once the season commences again on Thursday?
Well, who knows? It's up in the air right now. I'm not really a doctor, but the way it feels right now, I really don't know. I'm really concerned, but you know, hopefully I can get back in time and see what's really aggravating this thing, and hopefully I'm in the lineup on Thursday. But the way it stands right now, I don't think so.
Frank, how disappointing is it to miss the All-Star game? You played in them before, so does it kind of cushion it a little bit?
Oh, it's very disappointing right now. You know, the best in the game are here, and I would definitely want to be out there performing. It's the time to perform. It's time to shine, and I'm not able to perform, and it's really disappointing to be here, actually, when you're not playing.
As we take a look at Kenny Lofton at the plate, you're chasing the Cleveland Indians. Last year, they ran away with it. What's been the difference this year? Why are you guys so much closer?
I really think the key acquisitions of the veterans that we have now. These guys have brought a new attitude to the clubhouse, and they've all done their part, and they've helped pick this team back up on its feet where it was a couple years ago. So, you know, we got a whole new style of ball with Terry Beverton as the manager, and we're having a lot of fun, and hopefully we're going to make something happen for the rest of the season.
All right, Frank, we hope you feel better. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, back upstairs to you, Bob Costas.
Thank you, Jim. So if Michael Jordan had stuck with baseball, he could have been, in theory, a teammate of Frank Thomas, since he was in the White Sox organization. But this guy, Kenny Lofton, was a teammate of the Bulls' Steve Kerr. Lofton, the sixth man at the University of Arizona when they went to the Final Four in 1988 for Lute Olson, but decided to go the baseball route.
I think he made the wise choice.
Singled and stole a base his first time up. And the count holds at 2-2. We're in the top half of the third. The National League leads it 3-0.
Here's a guy, in difference to what we see in a Lance Johnson. Here's a guy who'll go up there and take a walk from you to reach and get on. He's got a little power. He's got 6 home runs. He'll pop one every once in a while.
Oh, I love this guy's game, Uke. 3-time Gold Glove winner. Tremendous arm. You look at him and he's kind of a wiry guy. You wouldn't think he throws as well as he does. And when you consider that he's got to cover a lot of ground at Jacobs Field with Ramirez on one side of him and Bell on the other, he's just a tremendous player.
He really is, and one of those guys that's a great leaper. You talked about his basketball ability. The other day he almost made another unbelievable catch going way over the wall in Cleveland, up on top of that center field wall.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled it back. Here's something speed does for you, Joe. Even with a good pitcher like Brown, who's got the great sinker and the good wicked slider, if you're Kenny Lofton, given your speed and you're sitting 3-2, you can afford to think fastball.
Exactly, because he cannot afford to walk you here in this situation, because he knows a walk is like a double.
Center field. Lance Johnson retreating to the track. Has it. And with this shot, we tell you, Anheuser-Busch's aerial ambassador joins us tonight, the Bud 1 airship, providing the beauty shots, as we call them, at Veterans Stadium. Now Wade Boggs, who popped out his first time. One and one. The last time there was a power explosion comparable to this in baseball back in 1987, Boggs changed his style a bit and hit 24 home runs. But this year that hasn't happened. He has only 2. And that's what he usually is looking to do. Slicing this one foul, though, but to take that pitch to the opposite field with that inside out swing.
You're right, that's his style, but he made a point in '87 to show people that he could hit with power if he wanted to. Now watch how level his bat stays through the hitting zone. See that? That's a beautiful level swing. No uppercut there.
Lays off the high fastball. 2-2.
You know, you're almost doing this guy a favor every time you throw him away. You really do him a favor. I mean, he's going to go the other way on you. And as Joe said, every once in a while, I mean, if he gets something inside off speed, he'll try to hook you.
Chopper Larkin has time and has Boggs. Brown comes in, works a 1-2-3 third. Still 3-0 National League. So Edgar is out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he
No
can't.
changes in the field.
Damn, Boggsy, can't get around a fastball or a changeup.
Yeah. Said in jest.
Everything's the same except the pitcher.
Who's this, Finley?
Yeah. That's the foul ball. No, that's not. I think what he meant was on the changeup he bounced to Larkin. Right? That's the fastball that he fouled. Oh, really?
Well, he threw him a changeup before, I guess. Maybe in the bat, but he didn't swing at it. I don't remember.
Fork ball with this guy, right?
Yeah, Finley, and a big curve. Big curve ball and a fork ball.
Is he back? Wasn't he over like by third base, and now he's back in the middle again?
Yeah, he was. He was over. Where was he?
Was actually. I'll tell you
first
what.
Base,
by first base.
Yeah, he was over by first base.
Yeah.
But he's still more this way now. In fact, I did a game this year, and he moved. He started to move back this way. He was way over, like you said. Uke. Yeah. Well, no, I mean after Bob. I'm sorry. After
Whatever it is.
Costas.
We have a mic on Bobby Cox, and we'll listen to his reaction as Wade Boggs slices this one foul on a pitch from Kevin Brown.
Damn, Boggsy can't get around a fastball or a changeup.
Said in jest, of course.
Of course. Too bad Boggs doesn't have an earpiece.
Larkin takes a strike from the new American League pitcher Chuck Finley, the 33-year-old Angel veteran who's 9-7. Big curveball, and his out pitch the forkball. Because of the forkball, he leads the American League with 11 wild pitches. He's got that baby diving into the dirt.
Forkball or the splitter. I mean, if it gets away from you and it's one of those bouncers 2 feet in front of the plate, I mean, it eats you up. You know, when you look at the California Angels this year and where they are in the standings here at the break, disappointment to a lot of people.
Bounced up the middle, and it's through. A leadoff hit for Larkin. When you look at Finley, one of the game's better pitchers, a 9-7 record and an ERA of almost 5, 4.95. If you haven't been following the game all season long, you might say, what's going on? The overall league ERA in the American League is 5.10. If that holds, it's the highest league ERA in either league in this century. That's how much offense there is all around baseball, especially in the American League, with more small ballparks and, of course, the DH. And a different approach, less emphasis on speed, more on power.
That's the surprising thing about hitting today, Bob. Not only the long ball, everybody's talking about the long ball, the amount of home runs that are being hit. How about the batting averages of not only the big guys, the power hitters, but everybody? You're looking at guys hitting 35 and 40 home runs, hitting 340, 350. That's the thing. I mean, it's pitching overall. I mean, every once in a while, once out of maybe every 3-4 days, you're going to see somebody who you're going to have a tough time against. But those other 3 days, as Joe well knows, those are the guys you got to get well against.
2-0 pitch to Bonds, and Vaughn can't get this. He deflects it a bit. Larkin speeds around second, and they'll have runners at the corners on a pair of singles with nobody out to open the third. So the onslaught continues for the National League, already leading it 3-0.
And Bob, in all 3 innings, the leadoff hitter has gotten on base for the National League. Now this is Barry Bonds at his best and Barry Larkin at his best. Base hit to right field off the glove of Mo Vaughn. Now Barry Larkin, a lot of guys would not be able to go to third on this, but he makes up his mind right there. He said, I'm going to third base, takes one look, and he's on his way to third base. And this is what the National League does best, first and third on base hits.
Finley to McGriff, and there's a strike. talking about all those numbers, those offensive numbers, you taking nothing away from the many great hitters in the game today. Something is out of whack. The game has been wrenched from its context. The circumstances in baseball today, and that's high, are making average hitters good, good hitters great, and great hitters historic.
Well, Bob, you have to remember, every time you hit a long fly ball, if it hits off the wall and doesn't go out of the ballpark, it's still a base hit, whereas in the past those fly balls were caught, they were outs. So anything you hit now long becomes a base hit as well as extra bases. So it helps your batting average.
2-1 to McGriff. Piazza on deck.
I think it's still the fact that out of a 4-game series, maybe a 3-game series, you may see one guy, and depending on the staff, 2 guys maybe, but that 3rd guy that you see on that 3rd day or 4th day, those are the guys that the good hitters really get well against.
McGriff chases one outside the strike zone. It's 2-2, unless of course you're facing Freddie's team, the Braves, so deep.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Bob. You know, there are those clubs that do have staffs that are pretty decent, and not to take a rip at any pitcher, but either you're a good starter, a very good starter, or you're one of those guys that's a mediocre starter. You know, you're going to be a 500 pitcher, and there's a lot of those around.
The runner breaks from first, and McGriff grounds it foul at the plate. So Bonds has to come back.
Doesn't necessarily make you a bad pitcher either. You have some pitchers, Joe, on some clubs that, you know, if a club is not a great hitting club, you're going to suffer as a pitcher. And here's an example in Finley that we talked about. A guy who's not having that great a year, but look at the offensive numbers from the whole California ball club. They're down.
McGriff struck out his first time. Finley a quick throw to first and Bonds back. Well, there's the obvious dilution of pitching because of expansion. The smaller strike zone, the smaller ballparks. The batters beefing up with the weight training and swinging thin-handled bats with the tops cupped out, so the amount of energy through the hitting zone that these big strong guys can generate with these lighter bats, with all of the mass of the bat pretty much concentrated in the sweet part rather of the stick, those are all factors. Bonds goes again. Called strike 3. Throw from Rodriguez. He got him. He has thrown out almost half of those who have tried to steal against him, and this was the best possible scenario for the American League. McGriff fans for the second time. Bonds is cut down, and Larkin holds third.
Not a good play, in my opinion, for Barry to try to steal with Rodriguez behind the plate and the left-hander on the mound, because what you do is you take your team out of a possibility of a big inning. Even if McGriff was to strike out, you would still have Piazza up there hitting now with 1 down and runners at first and third rather than 2 down and a runner at third. This is a tough pitch to throw on, but you see why Rodriguez is one of the best throwers in baseball. Gets rid of the ball very quickly, even on a pitch low and in to the left-hander.
I tell you, he's got a great arm. He really does. I mean, he loves to throw.
A ball to Piazza. You know, we kid you a lot, Uke, but one thing you could really do was throw. You were a fine throwing catcher, and I know you like to watch Rodriguez.
I really do, and I was going to say to Joe, who played with Vince so many years, who was a great thrower too, how many times you see a catcher take you out of a jam? And actually, as a catcher, you hope guys run.
Here's another RBI for Piazza. This one gets in the gap and scoots to the wall. Larkin comes across. A double to go with the homer. 4-0 National League.
And no one hits the ball harder than Mike Piazza. I remember the first time Tommy Lasorda brought him, he came to the big leagues, he told me one day, he said, Joe, this guy hits the ball harder than anybody on the ball club. And you see here, this is a routine single for a lot of hitters. But again, look how he just straightens up on that front leg, and it hits the ball so hard it goes right through to the outfield wall. This is a normal single, but he hits it so hard that even Kenny Lofton cannot cut it off.
So it's Bichette. Not the same hitter away from Coors Field. He is the poster boy for that ballpark. He's hitting over 400 at home, 263 on the road, 12 of his 17 homers at Coors Field, where the Rockies average better than 8 runs a game and on the road less than 4 runs a game.
Here's a pretty good reason, if we can show this again, a pretty good reason why catchers today wear a helmet. Watch this and listen. I heard it. Watch the backswing. Pow. Ooh, I'm telling you, he got hit good. Now you're wearing a soft cap. That may put you down, I guarantee you. Although I didn't mind that once in a while. I got to be honest with you.
Has him out in front again. 1-2. Let's watch it one more time.
I heard this pop on the top of the helmet. Listen to this.
Didn't even phase him.
You got to be a dog to be a catcher.
Well, they don't call them the tools of ignorance for nothing.
I'll tell Pudge you said that. He loves you.
But you know, the pay for all that misery is so much better than it was in your day.
Oh yeah, you're right. But I mean, we were dumb back then. We didn't want to wear helmets. I mean, how dumb were we? Didn't want to wear the extension on the mask, you know, that down below to cover your chin and protect you down there. Here's a guy, Rodriguez, too, one of the few guys that wears that protective pad over the right shoulder. There you see him. He's right in there. Benched 10 times. What a player. Bob Boone, who's here tonight as a coach.
Full count to Bichette. Well, we've seen each catcher at his best. Rodriguez is a fine hitter, but defense is really his strong point. He throws bonds out trying to steal. Piazza, a great hitting catcher, launches a tremendous home run and then doubles home a run with a shot into the right center field gap. The 3-2 pitch struck him out. But the National Leaguers have scored in every inning. They lead 4-0. Back after this from your local station.
Comes up next, Bob. That was. I thought it was.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. .122. Okay, we're going there right now. We're going there right now. Let's go.
Stay with him, all right? Jim.
Maybe a catcher. Well, he can't change the catcher. You got Bagwell at first. That's been the only change.
Where are the changes? Bagwell's at first.
And Glavin.
And Glavin. That's all.
That's all.
So I guess I assume that Bagwell's going to bat in McGriff's spot. Well, he could bat in the 9th spot. That's what we got to find out. Is he going to bat 9th or is he going to bat where McGriff bats?
It's a flip, so he's going to bat 9th.
So Bagwell.
Yeah.
Was this Glavin?
Yeah.
We'd like to have you on here.
Is this him?
I get you to swap
We're gonna have
seats
to
with
get
me.
down so we don't bother these people, all right?
Gonzo, we're here with Mr. Piazza. Say it again. Can I get you to swap with me for just a moment? Can I sit here? Yeah. Thanks.
Darkness has descended upon Philadelphia, and dark days as well for the Phillies. The last time they hosted the All-Star game back in '76, they were at the beginning of a run of 3 straight NL East championships and 4 in 5 years, capped by the World Championship in 1980. Had several players on the All-Star team. This year with injuries they're struggling, and Ricky Botalico, the reliever, is their only representative. Perennial All-Stars like Dykstra and Dalton not only out for the year but with their careers in jeopardy. The new pitcher is a familiar one. World Series hero Tom Glavine. And new first baseman too. Alomar, the switch hitter, bats right-handed against Glavine. Bagwell of the Astros replaces McGriff of the Braves at first base, and Freddie's troubles continue. 2 strikeouts tonight. Alomar reaches for it, rolls it to Chipper Jones. It comes up on a nice hop, and he throws him out.
Alomar continues to struggle, Bob. His average has dropped from 410, a high of 410, down into the 350s. But I guess that's happiness to be able to go over and still be hitting 350.
Bell struck out against Smoltz his first time up. So he comes to the All-Star game, and the first 2 guys he has to look at are nightmare reminders of last October. Smoltz and especially Glavine, who combined with Wohlers on the 1-hitter to end it in Game 6.
And Glavine immediately starts to pitch him away, as he did last year in the World Series. Try to stay right on the outside corner, try to get ahead, and then throw a few changeups.
The 2-0 is in there. Of course, Albert in Game 5 went outside with the pitch and took Maddox deep to the opposite field.
I'm just going to say, Bob, you keep throwing him away. I mean, if it's something close off the outside corner, he'll make up his mind and go that way. He's got tremendous power all over.
3-1. When you talk about the pursuit of Roger Maris, whether it's Bell or a healthy Griffey, Brady Anderson, Mark McGwire, whomever it may be, of course, we never know what might have happened had 1994 been played to completion. Full count. But this much can be said. Maris's record has now stood a year longer than Ruth's did. They sort of put Maris down because he did it in the first expansion year, but there have been 4 expansions since, and no one's even come close. The highest since Maris is 52. Fouled off. In truth, Ruth's record was challenged more often than Maris's. Greenberg hit 58, so did Fox. Wilson hit 56, Hack Wilson. Kiner made a run, Mantle made a run. No one really has gotten into September truly flirting with Maris's mark. Struck him out, so Albert has gone down twice. And that delights fans everywhere outside Cleveland, it seems.
Now here it is, a last fastball from Glavine to Bell that finished him up. And I'm surprised he took a couple of fastballs. Not so much the 3-0 pitch, but he took a 3-1 fastball. And then here's Glavine again around the outside corner with a little Taylor, and strikes him out.
Mo Vaughn had a ringing double into the right field corner his first time up against Smoltz. Since Vaughn's double, 8 straight American leaguers have been retired.
You know, you almost look at a guy like Glavine here, Joe, and he says to you as a hitter, until you show me you can hit it, I'm going to keep throwing it to you.
Yeah, but he changes speeds. One fastball's 89, next one's 85. And all 3 of these pitches have been fastballs to Vaughn, as we see Ricky Botalico warming up in the bullpen, but they've all been 3 different speeds.
2 out, nobody on, 1-2 pitch. And it holds there. It's hard to imagine a better pitched game under pressure than the one Glavine turned in Game 6 of the World Series. They had been up 3-1. The Indians had an emotional victory at home to send it back to Atlanta. The Game 7 matchup would have been Nagy against Smoltz, and the Smoltz of last year was not the Smoltz of this half season. Biggio to Bagwell. A couple of Astros combined to take care of Vaughn, and it's another quick inning for the American League.
He took a 2-0 fastball, and then he took a 3-1 fastball.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he didn't swing at either one of them, and I mean,
Definitely like a Thurman Munson, you know. He was always the hard-nosed type player, you know. He'd limp around and still go back to his catching spot and do his job. I mean, that was huge to me. I used to watch.
Bring your boy in next inning, Jimmy. Botalico. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just say this. We can do it right out of this. Chuck Finley will work his second inning. And who will be next? We'll let Bobby Cox tell you. That's just what I'm going to say, just like that, okay? Finley back to work. Chipper Jones, switch hitter, turns around, bats right-handed, swings on the first one, hammers it to left, but Bell is right there for the catch. Tom Glavine worked the perfect fourth for the National League. Who's going to follow him to the mound? We'll let Bobby Cox tell you.
Bring your boy in next inning, Jimmy. Botalico. Yes, sir.
So there is the Phillies' lone representative. He'll get a great reception. His manager, Jim Fregosi, one of Bobby Cox's coaches tonight. And you also saw Johnny Padres, who's the National League's honorary captain. Earl Weaver, the honorary captain, new Hall of Famer, great Oriole manager. He's the honorary captain for the American League. There's Padres. And this one is lifted by Biggio into the seats. When they brought Bagwell into the game along with Glavine, they hit Bagwell ninth, so he's next, and Glavine is in the fourth slot, vacated by McGriff. Still 0-2. Struck him out. And we go to Jim Gray once more.
All right, thank you, Bob. I'm now here with Vince Piazza, the very proud father of Mike Piazza. He has had these seats here in Veterans Stadium since it opened. Used to bring Mike all the time. Was Mike basically drafted number 1390 as a favor to you by Tommy Lasorda?
That's correct. Yes. It's hard to believe that he had going that high in the draft. Or I should say that low in the draft. Yeah.
How proud are you right now? Your son is homered. He has a double right now. He could be the MVP of this game.
It's amazing. It's something that's hard to explain. I sit here in the last 4 years, watch what has happened and how he's developed, and I still can't accept it. It's just like a dream. I'm just thinking someday somebody's going to wake me up here shortly.
Now you're very close with Tommy Lasorda. You spoke with Tommy today. He's got to be feeling better watching this.
I was thinking that maybe this would be a heck of a remedy for him. Hopefully he'll recover soon and get back to what he was doing, because we all love him.
Thank you, Vince. There are about 30 Piazzas who are here. This entire section is family. Back upstairs to you, Bob.
And Bagwell swings and misses as we take it back from Jim Gray. What an interesting guy to watch hit.
Yes, he is. He's had his left hand broken a couple of times. You see that pad over his left hand. That's to protect him because he takes a lot of fastballs inside. They pitch him in and he dives in, and he's been hit on that left hand a lot of times. Look at that. I would think that would bother him, but he says it feels very comfortable now and he's used to it. But I mean, he has a great swing. He stays on the ball and he drives the ball to all fields.
Stance slightly open, very wide spread, uppercut swing.
He does all those things, Bob, but he still hits very well, and he's a good RBI man. Watch his front foot on this next pitch. He actually brings it back. Most people stride forward. He strides backwards to get his body going, to get his bat started. He is very unique, and again, he and Mike Piazza, very different from all the other hitters in this ball game. He will take that front foot and step back and not forward.
And he fouls another Finley offering away. He is always, for the last 3 years, among the league leaders in 7 or 8 categories. And this despite hitting in the Astrodome, which is a little more hitter friendly than it used to be, but it's certainly no Coors Field.
Right, you're right.
There's what you were talking about right there, Joe. You see that front foot fly back. He's the only guy that I know that does that.
Well, Finley records a couple of strikeouts in the 4th, and this is the first inning in which the National League has been blank. They lead it 4-0.
I don't think I ever saw another guy do that.
I haven't. No, I was trying to think of that.
He actually does step back.
He goes backwards instead of
4 inches.
Nice pitch. Atta baby, atta baby, atta baby. Hey, let's go, bud. Just pick it up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's pick it up.
No. That's of no consequence.
Gonzo, American or national? Either Smoltz or Hargrove.
It's a fast
would be
game
good,
so far, even though we get the 4 runs. Is everything okay?
We're going over here now. We got Smoltz whenever you want him.
Oh, good. Caminiti's in at third base.
Hardline Mike for Smoltz. All right.
And Chipper Jones is just out. Is that it?
We got Smoltz, Gonzo.
Bagwell's still at first. So Caminiti is in Chipper Jones' spot.
Tell him to open this.
Yes.
That's her right there in the yellow.
First base.
That's not her. That's Sue Seelig. I don't see her. I'll know her if you see. Not there. That's Paul Beeston from Toronto. That would be a Dick Ebersol.
Hello, testing 1 2.
She's not there.
Okay.
Caminiti third base. Botalico. Give me Botalico. Thank you very much. On to the 5th inning at the Vet. The National League leading 4-0. And the ball handed to the Phillies representative, Ricky Botalico. 2-4, but with 20 saves, as you see, and that's third best in the National League.
Bobby throws hard and has a great curveball.
Warm reception for him on a warm night in Philadelphia. New third baseman, too. Ken Caminiti added to the team when Matt Williams, the elected starter, was scratched because of an injury. He's in now at third from the Padres. When Tony Gwynn got hurt, the Padres didn't have an active player on the squad, and it would have remained that way had Williams not been scratched. Rodriguez cuts and misses. 0-2.
This guy was one of the most excited guys in this ballpark yesterday. Botalico in the clubhouse, watching him, Joe, walk around and look at all the other players and talk and meet some of these other guys, not only national but American leaguers too. Rodriguez, another guy, Alex Rodriguez, the kid shortstop from Seattle, in total awe here with this all-star gala weekend and everything else that went into this thing. Weekend prior to it, 3-day break, everybody excited here.
Botalico's 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. Auspicious debut.
Well, Joe said he had a good breaking ball, and that's what I think it was on Rodriguez. Got an excellent curveball. He popped a couple of good fastballs on him, and here's the last pitch. Breaking ball down low and away, and he chased it.
You can see the very tight spin on that breaking ball. That makes it very tough for the hitter to pick it out.
So now Ripken, who lined to left his first time up. You know, it seems odd to say of Ripken, who represents reliability and consistency, but as a hitter, he's very streaky.
Yes.
He had a great June, but he goes through protracted slumps and then turns it up.
But I feel like, Bob, that no matter what you say about it, the streak doesn't affect him. As a middle infielder, if you play as many games as he does, there are going to be spells where you're down mentally and then you get back up. Then you're down physically, and then you get back up.
Doesn't catch up with a 2-0 pitch.
He made a dramatic change in his hitting style too, Bob. I mean, he used to have that bat way up on top. Now you see where it is. It's almost resting on his shoulder. He's dropped his hands. Anything upstairs, I mean, he's going to have to bring it back up and then start that way. But he used to carry that bat way up on top.
2-2.
And there you see another example of not being able to pick up the spin on Botalico's ball. This looked like another fastball, and it just breaks sharply down and away, and you see Ripken cannot hold up. And Botalico, just look at that. That's tighter spin than the one he struck Rodriguez out with.
Misses with that one. Full count to Ripken, the two-time American League MVP, the 1991 All-Star MVP when the game was played in Toronto. Botalico fanned Rodriguez, and Ripken lifts this one to left. Barry Bonds over toward the line and calling. There's the second out. As Brady Anderson steps in with the 30 home runs, to finish up a thought from earlier, Joe, all the factors cited for the explosion in offense, but one that I think is overlooked is this. You've gone from 4-man to 5-man rotations. So right there you can make a case that the pitching has to be 20% worse.
Correct.
Plus, starters used to pitch, even average starters, double-digit complete games. Hit the third, Caminiti knocks it down and then has no play as Anderson is aboard with 2 out. The Bob Gibsons, the Koufaxes, the Marichals, the Spahns, they were between 20 and 30 complete games every year.
Now here it is again, that little slicing bouncer hit by Anderson kind of handcuffed Caminiti, a ball that he should have made the play on. If he picks it up there, he has no chance. Anderson's got good speed.
Now Jay Buhner will come to the plate as a pinch hitter. 23 home runs for him and an average of .285. Hit 40 a year ago. So in addition to fewer complete games and a 5-man rotation, the closer now will only pitch the 9th inning with a lead. You figure out how many innings are being pitched by inferior pitchers when the average start lasts 5.8 innings in 1996. Who's pitching the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning? Unless you got a Mariano Rivera, you've got a guy out there that these hitters are feasting on.
But you mentioned Mariano Rivera. He's the exception to the rule. The rest of the guys are more mop-up men than anything else.
And when they bring that guy in New York, Rivera, I mean, he's a very hard thrower. And then you've got Wetland to follow him, who doesn't throw the ball all that badly either, with a good breaking pitch to go with it. I mean, that's a great 1-2 punch. When they had Righetti and Ron Davis there, Bob, it's similar to that situation. Yeah, Davis is a setup man.
Anderson is running. Buhner lines it to center, but Johnson with the speed gets there for the catch. At first, he didn't apparently realize how many outs there were. That ends it, Lance. Job well done. We'll be right back. Right? E5 on that.
Yep.
Right?
Gonzo. Hey, Gonzo. Are you coming here, or should he go ice? Okay.
Buhner to right. Buhner and right. Got a new pitcher.
Well, wait, no. You need to say he's staying in the game.
That's all.
All right, wait.
And a new pitcher.
You got a pitcher.
All right, so the pitcher now is hitting where?
Yeah, 2 questions. Is that what you want? 2 questions?
This is Pavlik.
Bob will throw it down here.
The pitcher's going to hit 8th.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. What do you want to do first? Okay, go Buhner first. Mm-hmm. Don't do the double, just do the homer. It rained about an hour before the game. The tarp was on the field. Not a drop has fallen since game time. Jay Buhner, who pinch hit and lined to center, stays in the game, occupying the 9th spot in the order and in right field now, with Brady Anderson out for the American League. And Roger Pavlik is the new pitcher. Lance Johnson facing him, fouls the first pitch off. Pavlik of the Rangers is 11-2 with an ERA of 4.82. He leads the majors with 6 complete games. That'll also make the seats. Bottom of the 5th. 4-0 National League. Top of the order for them. Johnson, Larkin, Bonds. One and two.
Getting back to what you were talking about a moment ago, Bob and Joe, I don't know where this quality start idea came from, but as you were talking about,
hit to right center field. They better cut it off with Johnson running, and Buhner does. So Johnson's now 2 for 3, a leadoff single here, and we check again with Jim Gray.
Okay, thank you, Bob. I'm now joined by the starting pitcher, John Smoltz. John went a couple of innings tonight. 1989, you got the loss. Now you have a chance to win this ball game. You were 14-1. Now you've lost 3 games in a row. Did you correct it tonight, and was there something wrong?
Yeah, actually, my last side session, I was throwing more stiff-wristed, and I'm a loose type pitcher with my fastball. It tends to give a little bit of hop to it, and I corrected it, and it would have been nice to go a little bit more in 2 innings, but I'll take it, and hopefully we can hang on.
Barry Larkin at the plate. Let me ask you this, as we have a stolen base out there right now by Johnson. Let me ask you, John, would you have liked to have gone longer, and could you have worked some more kinks out?
Yeah, that's the big thing. You know, you can work things out on the side, and even in my last game, I would have loved to go on more innings just to work things out in a game situation. And the first 2 innings, I didn't like the way I started with giving up a single and a double, but after that, it was great.
Now, Greg Maddux pitched today with you in practice. You said he had some problems. Is there going to be a problem with him, and might he not be able to get back into the starting rotation with his injured toe?
No, it's just a little sore dragging, and the more he does it, the more he works, the more sore it's going to be. So he'll be fine next start.
John, congratulations. Great outing.
All right, thanks a lot.
Let's go back upstairs to Bob.
Jim, thanks. Larkin flying out to Buhner and right. Johnson holding second after the steal, and Bob Uecker to finish his thought.
Well, I was talking about quality starts. I don't know who came up with the idea of 6 innings being a quality start, because years ago, I mean, that was what your contract, I should say, was predicated on the next year. I mean, that was a big item. How many games you finished, how many innings you pitched. Those guys like the Perrys and Gibsons and Maloney's, Joe, that pitched the 250, 260 innings every year, man, it was unbelievable. But today, 6 innings and it's bullpen time.
Bonds at the plate. Caminiti on deck, and Johnson breaks for third on the first pitch. Rodriguez's throw, he is gone. Man, with a left-handed batter at the plate and Rodriguez throwing, I don't care how fast you are, you better think twice about that.
Well, I think they've made 2 poor base running choices here. He's got a clear shot at him because Barry Bonds is left-handed. I mean, he's out by a long ways here. I mean, normally it's a close play at second or third, but he got a pretty good jump, but Rodriguez just comes up and fires a bullet down there, and it's there just right now, so you have no chance.
Been a great showcase so far for Rodriguez and Piazza.
I'll tell you, this guy can throw as good as anybody I've seen, and right on the bag. I mean, sometimes a play like that and a throw like that handcuffs an infielder. Boggs made a nice play to grab it.
I have to say that he really reminds me of Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench had a great throwing arm, and he got rid of the ball very quickly, and Rodriguez does the same.
Joe, how many times did you go to cover a bag at second and get handcuffed on a low throw?
A lot of times.
I mean, not a throw in the dirt. I mean, just a throw right on the bag would handcuff you.
3 balls and a strike to Bonds, and another look.
Watch how quickly he gets rid of the ball. See, he does not take an extra step. He just straightens up and fires.
Full count now. Bonds has an RBI ground out and a single. Came into the game hitting .301. He was sizzling in April, had 11 home runs in the season's first month. He's at 23 at the All-Star break. Three-time MVP in a 4-season stretch in the early 90s. Vaughn behind the bag will take it himself. After 5 now, it remains 4-0 National League.
Gonzo? Gonzo? Okay.
Yes. Wait, no. Ozzie's in the game. Ozzie's in the game.
Hey, Gonz.
He did not do a flip, did he? No, wait a minute. Where is he hitting?
Gonzo?
They got a new pitcher.
I got to move here if you.
They got a new pitcher.
Pedro Martinez.
But where is he going? Let's see.
Hey, Gonzo?
I would say Martinez is going to go in Larkin, and then you got
Well, you know, you always have that feeling of not wanting to hang it up when you've done it this long. But we all reached that point, and I think that you have to get it squared away in your heart first. And I've been able to do that. It wasn't easy, you know, because it's been a gradual thing that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years. But I've been able to come to grips with that within my heart, and I know that this is the right time.
All right, you should go pitcher first in this case, right? No, well, okay, and then all right, that's fine. Where's Ellis Burks? Yep. Find out where Burks hits. I'm assuming Burks going to hit second and the pitcher's going to hit third. #15th and final All-Star appearance for the 13-time Gold Glove winner Ozzie Smith. At age 41, he has finally had to surrender to time. This is his last season. He's announced his retirement, and we talked to him about it yesterday.
Well, you know, you always have that feeling of not wanting to hang it up when you've done it this long. But we all reach that point, and I think that you have to get it squared away in your heart first. And I've been able to do that. It wasn't easy, you know, because it's been a gradual thing that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years. But I've been able to come to grips with that within my heart, and I know that this is the right time.
So Ozzie's in the game at short. Larkin's out. There's a new left fielder. It's Ellis Burks from the Rockies, the former Red Sox. Barry Bonds is out. And a new pitcher, Pedro Martinez from the Expos.
And Martinez has a very good fastball. He moves it around very well, and an excellent changeup. And he's the brother of Ramon Martinez of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
With 3 changes, Bobby Cox can put these new players almost anywhere. So if you're scoring at home, stop and just enjoy the game. Because at this point, our own scorecards look like some sort of hieroglyphics.
Mine's gone.
Here's Lofton against Martinez. Singled, stole a base, fly to deep center. We're in the 6th, 4-0 National League. Another base hit for Lofton. Well, you can tell this guy loves the stage, Uke.
He really does, and he's a big-time player. I mean, when it happens, when he's on, he's on. And as we were talking earlier in the game, tagging up in situations where normally you don't tag up and try to advance another base, he does it. But he's got the blinding speed. He's got power every once in a while, but as you said, he's a primetime guy. He loves it.
They're
Talk
losing
about it. He'll tell you.
They're losing 4-0, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him run.
Oh yeah, I'm you know, and I'm for it. In a game like this, it's an all-star game. I know the Nationals want to beat the Americans. It's a big deal. The National League's won twice in a row now. But with a guy like Lofton and the way Piazza's been throwing, wouldn't bother me to see him run.
And besides, it's only the 6th inning. It's not like we're going down the stretch. They have plenty of time. You pick up one here, one there, and you can get yourself back in the ball game. You do not have to always wait for the big inning when you're trailing 4-0.
A ball and a strike to Boggs, who's 0 for 2. There he goes. And the pitch is hit in the air to left. An immediate chance for Ellis Burks, who makes the catch, and Lofton retreats. This guy, Pedro Martinez, has tremendous stuff. When you talk about a guy with no-hit stuff, you're speaking literally in his case. He pitched the near-perfect game, actually 9 perfect innings against San Diego. Won the game 1-0, but Bip Roberts got a base hit at the bottom of the 10th, and they took him out of the game. But he can be overpowering. He's a strikeout and inning guy.
Well, and he also is an intimidator, Bob. He will come up and in. He will pitch you inside, and he will change speeds. But I think that's great. I mean, I think he's one of the quality pitchers in all of the major leagues.